Are you ready?
What's up, everybody? It's A-Game Joseph Alexander, and I love wrestling, you love wrestling, we love
Woo-wee. We are back again. We are back. Got Dora with us at the bottom. You see her.
Hello.
Today is a good day. Back in June, I went to a Black Label Pro show. Saw a man in a match at the beginning. Then I saw this man at the end. I said, "Yo, that was you in the match? You was killing out there, boy. I like what you're doing." Since that time, I've seen him in a numerous amount of matches, impressing all across the country. We have Mr. A-Game, Joseph Alexander. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well. It's a beautiful day. We've had some like shoddy weather on the East Coast for a couple of days now, so we're getting a good spurt of like nice sunny days, breezy days. So I can't complain, man.
Yes, sir. That's always a good thing. So the first question we always ask before we get into it is, why do you love wrestling, or what started your love for wrestling?
Well, as far as I can remember, I've always been a wrestling fan. I know that's a pretty cliche answer, but like I was, my older brother had won tickets to SummerSlam in '02, and I was a witty little baby at that time, and that was my very first wrestling experience as like a child, a young child, and since then it's always stuck with me. Growing up, I was never like a fan of like cartoons or stuff like that. I was always like a fan of like wrestling, Jerry Springer, as funny as it sounds, but like stuff to some form of entertainment, and that always kind of gave that grasp for me for that love, and it's been around since I was a little baby.
'02 was, I was trying to think. Was that the year
That was in New Jersey. That was the opener was Kurt Angle and Rey Mysterio.
that wasn't the Rock versus Brock year, was it?
I don't believe so.
Okay. Who I was going to say now? Wait a minute. Now I got to look this up to find out. You said it was the Rock versus Brock.
Oh
Shawn
wow.
versus Triple H, Undertaker versus Test, RVD versus Chris Benoit, the Un-Americans versus Booker T and Goldust, Edge and Eddie Guerrero, Rick Flair and Chris Jericho. Ooh, Kurt Angle, Rey
That's a
Mysterio.
Good shit.
that's a card.
That's a good card.
That's the
That's
first
a
card
card.
you went to.
Yeah, it's the first show I've ever went to in my life.
Oh man, great. Well, you was bound for greatness. Well, who's some of your favorites while you was growing up?
Definitely Kurt Angle. That was like a big one for me. That was like where because you know I did do amateur wrestling basically all my life, so that connection um was right there. You know, it was very much right there. Jeff Hardy too. Like you know, Jeff Hardy was a big influence on like everything in my life in terms of what I wore, what I listened to, like all that good stuff. Like you know, being a Afro Latino guy with with studded belts and pantyhose cut up on my arms and I'm over here dyeing my hair, like dyeing my afro, like what am I doing, you know? So he's definitely had a lot of impact on me. And then as I got older, as I got more appreciative of like the styles clashes of wrestling, I got into the William Regals and the Brian Danielsons and all that good stuff.
I was gonna ask, did you wrestle in school? Because you know, looking at how you wrestle and everything, and then some of the people that you name, if you got into wrestling, seeing those, did you go into actually doing wrestling while you was in school?
Yeah, so in elementary school, I had immediately jumped on it. Like I saw that there was like a wrestling team in my hometown, and obviously it wasn't the wrestling that
You
I
thought
had I had thought. Right, exactly. And I still fell in love with it though. Like as crazy as it sounds, like I stood stood with it for 13, 14 years, like almost to the end of high school. Um, the only reason I didn't really finish was because I was going through injuries and you know needed to have surgery and stuff and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But as soon as I started, I didn't really stop. Loved it from the start to the finish.
No, because I stopped. Don't point at me because I stopped wrestling. So, I gave up.
It's hard. It's hard, man. It's hard. What weight classes were you at?
I wrestled the 148, the 165, the 185, and the 215. They moved me like all
Yeah.
place because they needed to fill people like our weight classes. So I was just the person they used to fill. But I only weighed like 148 ever. That was the max I ever weighed in high school. I usually weighed around like 145, so I was gaining weight to go to the upper weight classes all the time. It was the
Me too.
best. It was the best. I didn't have to lose weight. So
Yeah. I was the complete opposite. My junior and senior year, I was like walking around comfortably, like around 150, 155, 145. Like I was walking
Mhm.
around that weight, and my coach had wanted me to go down to 132, and I was like, "Ooh, wee, man, like
I
that."
said no, thank you. I like
That's
no. Uh-uh.
So Joseph, how do you how long have you been wrestling first?
in terms of professional wrestling, I've been doing it now for about I would say now about 2 years. Been doing live shows since not May, March of 2021, I believe. Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, I think that sounds about right. Yeah. March of 2021 was the first live show I ever did. Um, it was with Battle Club Pro. It was a 4-second match. I took a DDT by Mick Drake and I got out of there. But since then, about a year and some change later, about almost 2 years, and then training wise, definitely over 2 years.
Have you Were you on the Battle Club show in May of 2021?
I was on the franchise show, so where Mick Drake won the tournament to become the franchise champion.
Yes, you were.
Yep.
Holy shit! Because I was at that show, and then I just started thinking back, like, damn, you were out there.
Yeah, I
Okay.
was. I was at that show. I cut a promo, asking for opportunity, asking for a shot, and I got it. It wasn't.
I got a video. I'm
What?
gonna
I
have to.
got
I'm gonna
it.
bring that
Yeah, I
video
got
back
it.
up. Yeah. So how do you start training? Battle Club, Fallout Shelter. How's that transition?
So I started training actually at T2T Academy in Brooklyn, New York, which is run by Tom Frazier, and head coach is Logan Black. We've had MV Young, Tracy Williams, Willow Nightingale, a whole bunch of coaches transition into the area. Now it's Logan Black and Big Game Leroy. So it's really cool spot. I've also, been over at the Fallout Shelter a bunch of times, handful of times with with Pena and Santi and Law and the whole family over there. So it's really cool that those two schools in New York are like right there. So I got my start there at T2T, and then I've been doing a bunch of shows and stuff with Battle Club as well.
Yeah, it's been on a lot of shows with Battle Club. What's No, I'm gonna let Dora go. Then I'm gonna bring that
Why?
up
Why did you stop your question?
because when I ask this question, it's gonna go somewhere else. So I'm gonna let you explore first. Then we gonna ask that question.
Okay, fine. Okay. Hi, hello, nice to meet you. Hi.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
Okay. No, my questions are always like really simple. They're just silly questions. Nothing like too crazy, hopefully. Depending on your answer, they shouldn't be crazy. But what is your favorite show right now that's not wrestling related? Like just anything else besides that?
I really like Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon. It's actually like made me do a rewatch of the original Game of Thrones. So right now I'm watching Game of Thrones, like the original show, through its entirety again. So I would say like that whole Game of Thrones series is definitely up there for me. My favorite show of all time though is The Office.
Oh, I love The Office. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you watch House of Dragons?
Who, me?
Uh,
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I watch it.
Okay, I guess I'm the only one that doesn't watch it. Okay, I feel that's fine.
that's a good one. It's a good one.
I don't watch it.
Shawn Michaels was looking like the series. Never mind. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, if you could be reincarnated as any animal, what would it be?
Man. Ooh, that's a good one. I'd probably be a grizzly bear.
Why a grizzly bear?
Because they eat a lot of food. They have like a week where they literally get fat so that they could sleep for 6 months. And I feel like, man, if I could just eat for a week straight and then sleep for 6 months and then just wake up just fresh
Ready
as
to
day. I wake up and they wake up in the spring. Like they wake up in the like weather's nice, the snow's melting away. Come on.
I guess you're right. You're right. I choose hippo. I'm a hippo, so that's why. Let me see. What else do I have? What is your favorite meal? Like it can be anything. It can be like any dessert related, lunch, breakfast, whatever.
Okay. All right. So this is a good one. These are all very like they're
Thank you.
making me dig. I would say, oh man, I'm such a I'm such a hood baby that like I really love white rice and like corned beef and ketchup like that I don't care I don't care if I made out the struggle like years and years and years ago. I will always succumb to that. That was my thing right there. My grandma will always chef that up, like God rest her soul, and that would always hit different. Fresh out of school, right before school, it didn't matter. Like
Oh
that was
my,
my go-to.
that's not even that hood. Oh my gosh, it's not like the beanie weenie situation we had because that's definitely yeah. No, I
I
think
know about the baby weenies too. I know.
at least
I just feel like as there's so much things to eat out there, and then I'm just like, yeah, I'll have like white rice and corned beef, and like put some
yeah,
ketchup on there.
yeah.
Like,
I like rice is fine. Rice is a safe choice all the time. Okay, I guess the last question is what color makes you feel the best? Like when you wear it, what's that color?
um, I've been feeling this way a lot, and not to like tie it into wrestling, but a lot with like green. Yeah, I have green on my gear as well. I've been feeling that way a lot about green lately. Like I never had a stint of like where I would wear a bunch of shades of green, but like lately, these past like year or so, I've been wearing a lot of it, and I feel like my color palette has like kind of changed to where like I'll wear shades of green like an olive or stuff like that. I'll like put that together with an outfit or something like that. And I would say green or like a gray, like a gray hoodie or something like that, or gray like those are my two colors that I've enjoyed putting on.
Oh, okay, I like those colors, so that's nice. I love green, so
Yeah, it's a goodie.
A game.
what?
Let's go here.
Oh, okay, that's a good.
You took on Mr. Darius Carter.
I did.
Took that man to the limit. You know what I'm saying? I think he one of the top people out here. And you showed me a little something in that match. How was that experience for you?
Darius is great, man. Obviously, the year he's having, you can't overlook it. You can't look past it. He's doing what he's doing. He's definitely taught me a lot, like in the ring, as being in the ring across from him. But also, I feel like that I bring something different to the table in professional wrestling. I feel like no matter who you put me in, they could be top 150 in the world, top 500, number one, number three. It doesn't matter. But I feel like I just bring something different to the table with wrestling. I think I understand wrestling on a different level. And that just goes into the background of being in amateur wrestling and stuff like that. Like if there's any opening, I'm going to take it. And I think I showed Darius a couple things or two about surprising him and showing him that side. Like I don't think like a average professional wrestler in there. I use what's around me, and I'm very versatile, and I feel like I thrive off that.
That was a match I was very impressed with. I liked it. You guys need to go and watch that. I'll put a link to it in the bottom so y'all can check that out. Now, there's a guy that be over there at Battle Club. You attacked him on the last show. I don't know what his beef is with me. I think his name is like Z Abraham or something.
Oh yeah, them Federated boys. Oh man.
Yeah. So the only thing, Jordy Lee cracked a joke on Twitter
that he gets no bitches, right?
Right. All I did was laugh.
It was a good joke. It was a good joke.
And since that, he's been attacking me, and I'm like, why is he attacking me? How do you, them Federated boys? I don't really have no thoughts on them. How do you feel about them?
So here's the thing. Here's my thing. I'm 0 for 4 against federated people, and I mean the record speaks for itself. But because they're all very talented, they're all well put together, but they are a big fan of shenanigans and semantics, and that's not how I roll necessarily. I think Abraham Khan is a talented professional wrestler, but I think he's just steered in the wrong direction. And I feel like Federated, they show you the glitz and the glamour and the glory, but they don't show you that the downside. And I don't think that they put the work in that some people do to get to where they need to be. They kind of want to take the shortcuts, and that's just not how I roll. But that's just me. That's just me. I don't. I've never. They've stepped on my toes a couple of times, and I've been in the ring with O'Shea Edwards, and I got my ass handed to me, and I've been in the ring with Mick Drake twice, came up short twice, and so it's a distant relationship with me and the Federated Boys.
Story building, he gonna get him. If you had to get you a few people to go to get to team up with you to go against them Federated Boys.
I know. Everybody, you know what the thing is that people don't want to wrestle with me. They want to wrestle me. Like that's the thing. They don't want to be on my team, man. They just want to get a match out of me. I'm like,
damn, that's messed up. Somebody click up with A Gang so you can get these Federated Boys out of here because they've been causing hell for too long for me. I am sick of it. And Abraham, I don't know what your deal is. I don't even know if I'll bring you on this show, but get some bitches because that's hilarious.
He got it. He caught a little taste of what I could do. So he stayed out of my hairs for a little bit because I had him in a little ankle lock during their little match. So he knows.
He know what it is. So you said you can't get nobody to team up with you. Everybody want to face you. So let me ask you, because I asked everybody here, if you could face 3 people on the indie scene, to show them that you are A game, you got the A game. Who would those 3 people be?
Oh man, any 3 people. Right now, I would say, and like I have a list in my phone, like a whole list of people that I would love to wrestle, and I've just recently got to cross a couple of names off that list, which is Darius Carter and Jay Freddy, O'Shea Edwards. Those are a couple of names that I was able to cross off and say that I've shared the ring with them. So that's been pretty cool. But 3 people that I could say that I would love to wrestle on the indie scene would probably be Alec Price, Robert Martyr. And man, I gotta think of one. A good one. I have a couple in my head right now. It's Alec Price, Robert Martyr, and I like wrestling the big guys too, man. And I like showing them I can do something too. So I would say either Hoodfoot or Calvin Tankman for that 3rd spot. I love Hoodfoot too. Not
my Naptown people, Joseph.
I'm just saying. I love you, Hood. I love. That's my guy, man. That's my guy. But Hoodfoot, Calvin Tankman, they could get it too, man.
And y'all know we just had Hoodfoot here like 2 weeks ago. Oh man,
that's my guy, man.
Oh man. I'm gonna talk to Hoodfoot this weekend about something, but yeah, I understand. We're gonna have to get Joseph out to the Midwest again.
I love it out there, man.
Dora, I'm Gary asking this question.
Okay.
This is my question here. This determines how the rest of this goes. The Rock or Stone Cold?
Man, this is actually not that hard for me. I don't know why I'm thinking that hard. I'm gonna say The Rock. Yeah, man.
We on these streets.
You heard me. I was like, this is not that hard. No, it was a little different.
It's hard for me.
Don't do that. 21-17. The Rock is up. We kicking, baby. We doing our thing.
That's okay. Stone Cold will get it back. Don't worry. We'll see.
I feel you. Since we did hit 20, we're gonna start over people that be watching this. So we're gonna say The Rock is up 1-2-0. This is an Easter egg QR code. Joseph, give me 1 second to the people that's watching. If you're on the podcast version, first Funko Pop that will go into the giveaway. Since The Rock, we've reached 20 twice with The Rock. Overall, Rock is leading 2-1. But thank you. All right. Joseph A. Game.
Yeah, man.
That big question right here, boy. This that big question right here. Seeing you making some territory, seeing you in some areas. What's the next territory you trying to get to?
Definitely down south. Trying to do that in the next year or so. I would really want to venture out west. I want to go all over, you know what I mean? But like in terms of where I'm at right now in my career, I definitely want to hit down south. I feel like I'm ready to take on all those boys out there. I've been watching. I feel like the South has had a really big summer. I think they've had a really big summer in terms of putting on for TWE action. You know, all those places down there. They're really putting on SCI, all that stuff. So um, I feel like it took me a bit confidence wise as a wrestler, you know, to be like, you know, I'm ready to go all over. But I feel like now, especially after the past previous stints I've had, I feel like I'm ready for whatever. So I definitely want to hit down south next. I love the Midwest. It was really fun. Hopefully I can get out there for, you know, another show pretty soon. But in terms of new places that I want to take over and sprinkle my little A game finesse on, I would definitely say down south.
What is something that someone has told you since you started wrestling that you hold near and dear to you?
Wow, this is a good question. Let me take a quick second.
Take your time.
Take your time. Take your time. Don't worry.
Man, I would say so there's like a couple things that come to mind. So there was one time specifically where I was at practice. It was like one of my first ever practices. And my trainer, Logan Black, had said, like, you know, I was kind of messing around. I was fooling around. I wasn't really buying in or invested into the practice at this time in my career. This was like very, like first or second practice, to be honest. And, you know, he had stopped practice and he looked over to me and he was like, hey, man, you got to want to be here. And this is a story that I always tell, but this is something that has stayed true near and dear to me since day one all the way to now. You know, you gotta want to do this. And every day I wake up and it's like, oh, I'm tired, I'm sore, I gotta go to the gym. I think about that and it's like, nah, you gotta want to do this. And it's like, there's a difference between dreaming and there's a difference in between reality. And dreaming is sitting here and thinking about all the things you want to do. And the reality of it is getting out, going to the shows, setting up the rings, getting in the gym, training, you know, week in, week out. And it's a lot of work. It's not easy. It's very hard. It's sometimes it's too hard. You know, sometimes it's like, damn, you know, I'm also a college student. I don't know if you could tell by the setup that I'm in the dorm room, but like, you know, it's some mornings I got class at 8 a.m. and I just came back from Ohio from doing the show over there, and I gotta wake up and rub the crust on my eyes and get to it and go to the gym right after class and come back. And it's like, man, it's hard. It's very hard. But I think about what my coach said that for like that day one, that I gotta want to be here. And if I don't, then what am I doing this for? You know, and that's exactly how I've looked at it since then. So I think in terms of like sticking with me, that's one of the biggest things that's stuck with me.
Yo, if people see you, like after that first time seeing you in the ring, you got a purpose that you're doing out here. You one of the best young up and comers out here, and just to find out that you balancing that with also being in college, you got all my respect right there, sir.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate
it. Dora, before we go into this last spot with him, you got any other questions for him? Because I'm gonna ask him a crazy question after this.
Another crazy. Okay. Let me see. If you could be
more.
anything else for a day, who would you be?
If I could be anybody else for a day, who would I be? Is this like fictional or like a
You
real
can
kid? Like real?
whatever you want to do. Whoever
Oh,
you want to be that day. That's it. That's it. That's your day. You can be whoever.
that is a good question. Man, I can't think of anybody because nobody's A game. So it's like it's almost
Oh,
like
I like that.
That's what the fuck I'm talking about.
I
Yes,
had to get one of those. I had to get one of those in there,
yes. I was waiting for something like that to come.
I'm glad you took that opportunity and knocked. I'm thinking you took that
Yeah,
good.
that wipes
Yeah,
out one of my questions because I was gonna ask a question to get them to go there. But yeah, we there. Buzzword question for the people watching. I heard you say training under Willow. She was one of the trainers at T2T. Um, how was it training under her, and then just seeing like what she's doing weekly right now?
it's amazing. So like I run into Willow like every other weekend, and it's so funny because like I'll see her and it's just like, oh, long time no see, but I see her like almost every other weekend, so it's pretty funny. But it's training with Willow was a blast. It was an amazing time. I feel like the culture of T2T, we are very like welcoming. We're very open arms. All races, creeds, ethnicities, sexuality does not matter who you are. We welcome you, and I really love that about T2T. I really love that about the school. And Willow is just like that's her personality. You know, she's bright, she's bubbly, she's very welcoming of everybody, and she's not like stern where it's like you mess up and it's like fuck, you know what I mean? She's gonna walk you through the steps. She's gonna help you with uh you know strengthening your weaknesses and putting things together that she knows we needs to work on. She puts it together so we work on it, and she was a very good helping hand and a very good addition to our school, which helped out a lot of people find their grounding, find their confidence. There was times where we would practice some things, and I would know that I wouldn't be confident in that, but there was like Willow there to be like, hey, I'm gonna do this drill with you guys, or I'm gonna sit there and I'm gonna watch, I'm gonna take notes, and she would have a notepad and a pen right there, and that stuff like that. Seeing your coaches put that effort into you makes you want to put that effort into yourself, and I think that's like she added that element, and it was so great to have her.
You love to see it. Joseph, this is the most offensive question I ask everybody on here. And then we go to our last spot before we close out. So
That's a way to open it too.
yeah, don't be offended by this. It's nothing bad though. Just want to know who's the first person to bust your ass in the ring.
Who's the first person to bust my ass, man? Man, I would say probably Mick Drake and the Battle Club show. That match was about 4 seconds long. I cut a promo. I told him I wanted to smoke, and they sent Mick Drake out there. I got DDT'd, and that was curtains. That was curtains for me, and that was my debut match, my first ever pro wrestling match. The 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 world introduced to A Game Joseph Alexander was I remember so like the fans and stuff, they can be brutal. Um, they could be brutal, and that night before the match, I was just doing anything I could help out. So I was helping out the camera guys with their wiring, and I was like laying the wiring out around the ring. And I remember I took the DDT. The 1 2 3 happens. The match is over. I roll out the ring, and the crowd, like the entire front row, was like, camera guy, camera guy. And I'm like, damn, I just cut a whole promo saying my name, all this, that, and the third. And I took a DDT, and 4 seconds later, I'm camera guy. So that was probably a big one. Either that or recently with Pro Wrestling Grind, me wrestling O'Shea. That was a real eye opener for me because man, I got my ass whooped. Oh man, that was a real eye opener for me, man. Because O'Shea, he ain't nothing to f with, man. He ain't nothing to mess with at all. And sometimes we bite off more than we could chew, but that's who I am, man. I'd rather walk right head first into the fire than go in back first and be blinded. I'd rather know exactly what I'm getting myself into and read the consequences than back down or not step up. And that was one of those times. Both of those times, really. The Mick Drake, I called him out, and I got exactly what I had coming. And with O'Shea, man, I was pushing a lot of buttons, but that's what I was trying to do. I pay for it.
Yo, I think I remember them calling camera guy the whole little thing. I'm going to go back and watch that when I get off. When I get off later this afternoon.
Yeah, it was. I'm sorry to cut you off, but there was also someone on commentary, and I don't know. But when I rewatched the show back, and I watched the 4-second match back, someone on commentary was like, "Hey, like, what's that kid's name again?" And then they were like, "Oh, I don't know." And I was like, "Damn, man, I got put out bad."
I low key think I got video footage on my phone from it because I was sitting. I was in the front row. I don't really chant at shows, but I know exactly who was chanting, and I know what area you went into.
It was something.
It was crazy, but all right. Besides that, guys, we're gonna have Joseph now, Mr. A Game, put himself over. This is where you let the people know your social media ways they can get in touch with you. If you got shirts or stickers or ways they can support you. You got coming up. We just asked you to put yourself over.
All right. So everybody can follow me at Twitter at Joseph A Game. That's the tagline right there. Boom. You can follow me on Instagram at joe.alexander09. That's me right there. Coming up right now, I have October 22nd in H2O Arena, Paradigm's 5th-year anniversary. I'll be wrestling Travis Huckabee under UWFI rules, and I'm going to whoop his ass. After that's at H2O, October 27th.
Okay.
22nd. Yeah, not the 27th.
That's the one
22nd.
Okay.
Yep. That's the one that's going to be in Jersey. After that's all said and done, I got Pro Wrestling Grind in East Hampton, Massachusetts on October 28th, where they're celebrating their 1-year anniversary. I'm coming from a lot of anniversary shows that I'm just realizing that right now. That's something. And November, we're pretty loose on November right now, but I do have on November 18th in Connecticut for BST, I'll be fighting all the Miracle Generation boys because Kylon King is my son and he misbehaves, so I gotta whoop his ass.
Yo, he keep calling you his son on Twitter.
No. Don't get it twisted. You know that them young kids, man, that young generation, they get the phones and they just think they can act out, right, man? So, I gotta put him in his place. Him and his little friends.
I was on Twitter like, I know he ain't coming at. I know he can't be talking about A Game like this.
No, he's not talking about me like that. He ain't talking about me like that.
All right.
Kylon's my little sweet baby boy. Remember him when he was like this.
Low key, Kylon and Joseph saw them both at Black Label Pro. Just saw Kylon at the Turbo Grabs 24. Both impressive. So big faction thing. It's all gonna be good. Can't wait to see it. Miracle Generation versus we in there. Paradigm. Gotta get you to Jeffersonville too, because that's
I've been out there in Jeffersonville a couple times. I was on their like last 5-6 shows. They did one in Ohio with OWA. They did one with they did one in Ohio with OWA. Then they did one before that in Indiana, and then for the Terminal Combat, I think it was called, and then they did one in Jeffersonville, was like previous, so that was about like last year. I love it out there, man. Hopefully get out there Midwest some more. Talk to Hoodfoot. We set something up.
Terminal Combat is crazy. Hood, let me see. I'm gonna say something I shouldn't. Yes, all right, but Joe A Game, thank you for giving us this time. Dora. thank you for joining us. I see you down there, writing and stuff. So we appreciate you for taking the time out your day too.
You're welcome.
And I'm Trey D. All the links and descriptions, everything he said, you saw him pop up, they'll be in the description. You can click on that. If you're on the YouTube version, go to the podcast version, listen to it. If you're on the podcast version, come to the YouTube version and see who Joseph A. Game is. Video will come with it. But like I always say, if I love wrestling and you love wrestling, then we love wrestling. It's too street for the culture.
I love wrestling and you love wrestling, then we. You're not here, you missing out. Is this show?